Hello friends, and let us continue lesson number 3. We are discussing about planning in this lesson. This is a video in which we are going to study as to why planning is essential for vast and diverse economies like India. In the previous two videos, we have already seen the historical context of Indian economy and why planning was essential. What were the different reasons why we adopted planning after 1947? Now, why is planning actually essential? How do we justify it? That we'll discuss in this video. There might be a direct question also in UPSC mains examination like this, that why is planning essential for economy like India, or critically evaluate the need for planning in the economies like India. So I have mentioned some very crisp points here. This can be directly useful to you in answer writing. Let us see. So the first reason is resource allocation. When we talk about resource, it basically means human resources, your capital resources, meaning physical resources, then natural resources that are available. So there are various kinds of resources. So in order to allocate these resources efficiently and equitably, these are the two important words. Efficient allocation meaning zero wastage, okay, minimum wastage. So the resources should be directed towards such sectors or such projects where there will be maximum utilization of those resources, minimum wastage, and the maximum benefit will be given to the entire economy. So that is known as efficient allocation. And equitable allocation meaning that we should not direct all the resources to just one state or one area or one sector. For example, if we have say 1 rupee, we cannot say direct 90 paisa out of this only to education. So remaining sectors like health, defense and infrastructure will be left with only 10 paisa, so which is not fair. So equitable distribution meaning fair distribution across sectors and also across regions. So this 1 rupee, it should not happen that this 1 rupee is only given to one state like Maharashtra or Tamil Nadu. So it should be equitably distributed to various states depending on the need. So minimize wastage and focus development. These are the reasons. The second reason is reducing inequality. This is one of the important reasons why planning is required. There was huge income inequality in India during the independence. So directing investments and policies towards the marginalized sector so that they grow and to get a balanced growth and also inclusive growth. So we are going to study in detail about inclusive growth. Inclusive growth is a growth where every section of the society is a participant in the economic growth process. They benefit from the economic growth and they also participate in the economic growth. So in order to achieve inclusive growth, planning is necessary, and that will reduce the inequality. Then coordinating economic sectors, agriculture, manufacturing and service sectors to complement each other. Okay, how they can complement each other, how they can be a part of a supply chain. So that can be planned through the planning process. Then the next one is long-term vision. As I have told you in the previous video also, planning involves a 5-year plan. Okay, so it has a kind of long-term vision and also subsequent years as to how we are going to deal. So in order to set clear goals, what we want in this 5 years, what development we want, what sectors we are going to build, where are we going to invest, everything goals have to be set. Example, energy security, reducing poverty, etc. So we have to set clear goals and then act upon it. So that is why planning is essential. Policy direction, even if political economic circumstances change. So say for example, one 5-year plan is for 5 years, and during this 5 years, say in the middle some government changes or there is a political change in the country. But because of this political change, there should not be the policy change. There should not be a discontinuity in the policy that is happening in the country, because it will lead to a lot of disturbance. So because of that, that planning commission is that planning activity was important, which was done by the planning commission. So even if the circumstances change and political scenario changes, the goals on which we should have our eyes on should be very, very clear. Then crisis management, predicting and managing crises like inflation, natural disasters, global recessions. For that also we need to have plan. Okay, how much is this entire thing successful, that is a different story, but that is ideally what planning aims for. The next one is infrastructure development. Diverse geography. India has a very diverse geography. We have mountains in the north, and then we have vast coastline, we have northern plain, we have plateau, we have forest. We have very vast and diverse geography. So we need to have tailored approaches to build infrastructure, roads, railways, power plants into various areas. So in order to have a good infrastructure development, proper planning is required. Because see, in order to construct say 1 kilometer of road in plain areas of Uttar Pradesh will not cost the same as constructing 1 kilometer of road to construct it in Himachal Pradesh, the hilly terrain of Himachal Pradesh. So obviously it will take more money to construct roads or bridges or railway or to bring power plant in Himachal Pradesh than in Uttar Pradesh plains. So in order to plan everything properly, in planning is required. So infrastructure development can be done in a tailored manner. Then balancing growth and sustainability. We have to balance both growth and sustainability. We have to look at the environment also. We cannot just keep on degrading environment in the name of growth and development. So we have to integrate the environmental concerns with economic growth objectives. For example, carbon emissions. Okay, so we need to take this into consideration also. Then polluting our rivers, river pollution, air pollution, etc. So these things also need to be taken into account, because if we leave everything to the private sector, it might be a case that they will not care about environment. So we need to have control on that. As government, as the state, we have the responsibility to conserve our environment also, especially in environmental and ecologically sensitive areas like national parks, forest areas, and other ecologically sensitive areas where there is a lot of biodiversity, etc. So we need to look at that also. Then employment generation, obviously this was necessity. So there should be a sync between population growth and job creation. So how population is growing, how much is the young population, how much population is in working age, then how much population is participating in the labor force. Everything needs to be seen, and accordingly job creation has to be done. Sectoral planning to identify areas that have high employment potential and invest resources accordingly. So high employment potential meaning labor intensive sectors. So when we have a huge labor force, especially labor force which are kind of disguised unemployed in the agriculture, having surplus labor, so we need to shift those labor from agriculture to labor intensive sectors such as textiles, food processing, etc. So MSMEs tend to be labor intensive, and we have to promote this. So that can also be achieved through planning by properly giving them incentives. Then global competitiveness, we had to fight the global competitiveness also. Identify sectors where we can lead, where we have competitive advantage. So we need to see where India has a competitive advantage over other countries. For example, we have competitive advantage in textile industries. Okay, we have competitive advantage in IT, in software. So we need to identify such areas, and then we can encourage these areas. We can kind of give incentives to such sectors. Poverty alleviation, this is the most important objective, and this is one of the reasons why planning is required. So we need to have targeted planning to reduce poverty in our country, to direct resources to poverty alleviation programs, and to achieve the inclusive growth. So basically poverty alleviation program, we have lot of program whereby it is not just about giving resources or money in the hands of people, but also giving them a good life. For example, giving free education to the people, to the children up to up to class 8. Then giving health care to the people, to the people. Then sanitation, then skilling them. Okay, skilling them properly. So these are various programs or various things that need to be done for alleviating the poverty. So when we talk about poverty, we have to look at the multi-dimensional poverty. Okay, so poverty is not just about how much income somebody is having, but we have to look at the multi-dimensional poverty as to what is the level of education, how is the access to health, how is the access to sanitation, skills, job, employability, etc. So many different things we need to see. So for all this, we need to have planning, and planning is therefore essential for this. How much is it actually successful? That depends on how we implement, how actually things trickle down when any policy is brought. that is a separate matter. Those come into the critic that we are going to study when we start studying the 5-year plans, different 5 years plan, right from the first one to the 12th one, in the subsequent videos. So let us continue in the next video. Thank you.